Hello everyone, welcome back to Diablo 4. We have Mephisto's Aid. We are, this is the finale, folks.
Yeah, this is finale.
It's probably going to be a longer part, I'm guessing, at this time of this recording. Probably be a ways, because we got...
Something isn't right. Mephisto led you to this moment. We're in his realm. Should we really be doing what he wants? Between him and Lilith, he is the greater evil.
You want to use the stone on him?
Think carefully. That path would lead to failure for all of us.
Here he is.
Yep, his essence.
He's afraid.
It could work. We imprison Mephisto in the stone, get back to Laura.
Then we seal the gates of hell behind us and leave Lilith here.
She'll catch you before you escape. And if I'm trapped in the stone when she does, she will take my power. Don't let your hate for me blind you to common sense.
Nerel, I can't trust my thoughts about Mephisto, but I trust yours. Do what you think is right.
Why, though?
Your lives and those of all humanity depend on what you do next. Choose wisely.
Let us pray that worked. Come on.
Lilith will hunt us down. I must end it.
I'll find Lorath.
Interesting, the fiery portal will still show, though.
Was that a proxy and a ploy?
No.
And we'll wait for you at the chapel. This better not be the last time I see you. Understand?
I think I might have figured it out based on a prior game.
Do you want to talk about it now, or do you want to wait till the credits?
We'll wait till credits.
Okay.
Just
because I have my theory. I'm curious if it lines up with you. But it's time, folks.
the goth trick versus the angsty teenage daughter.
Bum bum bum.
Trick fight! Woo! Place your bets, people. Place all your bets. 50-50. Winner takes all.
You will love pain. Only glimpse.
It's final boss time, folks. Lilith here is an interesting boss battle. Just, keep your wits about you. It's not that much different than a boss battle you've already fought.
Her health is definitely up there.
Oh yeah, but she has a lot of health.
I need more time.
The golem's like, I'm on this bitch.
I have to bring out my barbarian for this battle.
I'm not ready.
Did he body her?
Yeah, I didn't struggle.
My sorcerer would be like, yeah, you think you're the cosmic force.
Yeah, it wasn't much of a battle.
Honestly, it's not being that much of a battle right now.
No, not bad. Remember what? Every time you get past one of those arrows, he does something different.
Yeah, it's... Okay, there we go.
I need time to do
Actually, fairly conveniently timed one there.
Yeah, that's a good one right there.
Yeah.
That was a good... That ultimate was a good drop point on that. That was a good AoE control.
Yeah, it was. One of the things I noticed in this battle, and I think we get a couple more since we're obviously two-player, but you get a lot of potion drops.
I think they're being a little bit forgiving with that, but
They are.
yeah, because I guess they're expecting this battle to go out a little bit longer than what we're showing right now.
Yeah.
And it just comes down to,
I mean the way our characters are built, we're built for long range. We have our basically our what we want to call our core,
yeah,
our front line. So you know it's not too shabby.
deploying my ultimate just to get these guys out of here and under control. And also the fact that I've got mostly ice on her minions that are not even lasting a full like minute on the battlefield.
Right.
Well, full couple minutes. Okay. I'm gonna focus down on the minions.
Yeah, I'll focus on both, but
Because if I can...
should be she's down.
Yep, alright. Oh, shit. Yeah, she's not gonna survive this.
Oh shit!
Oh, okay. Alright, I'm having him do that. I'll take...
That was a perma-kill. Or that was a insta-death, by the way.
That was...
Oh, you saw it be easy, did ya?
Okay! But that was also heavily telegraphed.
It was, and I just didn't get out of the time.
Like that? Oh! That barrier ate a crap ton of damage.
Yeah.
That hit my barrier deployed threshold.
Alright, we got her.
Or did we?
What do you think? Fuck no, we didn't get her. What the fuck were you guys thinking? Now we get the real.
Oh, yummy.
This is the real Lilith, what she really looks like, and just be careful in this battle. You're just gonna see real quick, real soon.
Oh, holy crap!
Yeah, that first half of this battle was child's play.
Alright.
I still think this battle's even still that hard. It gets a little bit more difficult here soon because of one reason and one reason only.
There's not a lot of areas to move.
No, and you lose area. He took out half the battlefield. Fuck you.
Hold on, I'm sending... Okay, having my minions there are gonna help. I need corpses to revive. Holy crap! I need him to body her.
Yeah, if I get close to her, I am fucked.
I'm having issues too.
Oh, that was the fourth time.
No, you can't be doing that, dear. Come on.
Oh, it gets worse.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, we lost another portion of the battlefield.
If she can just stay still, that will help. That Tempest is not good.
Just use your potions wisely. Try to stay away from her as much as you can. Obviously, if you're a barbarian or druid, you're gonna have to be close to her. You can use that to your advantage with bleeds, which is what I did.
My sorcerer can keep that range and still do enough distance.
Yeah.
But still do enough damage and take care of it.
Yeah. Again, there's plenty of potions out there. So even use them.
Okay. That right there, that's a combo mix of poison and bleed, isn't it?
Yep. He fucking hits hard.
I gotta get out of there, gotta get out of there. Okay.
You don't want to be here either. I don't know if you fall off. I'm assuming you do.
I just lost a majority of my army.
You just got back. I'm not really sure how, but I'm not asking questions. Oh, she's down.
Yep, she's down. Get her. I just got my golem back. Oh, yeah, bitch.
This is a battle, people. This is one of your harder battles you'll have. Make sure you're well equipped.
Yeah. This is where it's really testing your class build.
Yeah. But
come on. That only took a couple of minutes.
Yeah, we're at 11 minutes. Yeah, we owned her. We defeated Lilith, folks. Lilith is dead. Or is she?
Don't know.
Good boy.
My necromancer's like, I can claim the throne to hell.
From the eternal conflict. And yet, here we are. Again. I gave you free will. And you've squandered it. Wasting it on a crusade you don't understand. You chose tyranny when offered freedom. A poor legacy for my gift. Without me, you would have no victory. And its cost will be more than you can pay.
So, just an FYI. Oh.
Mother's embrace. Interesting. That's unique. That's higher than legendary.
That's higher than legendary.
You got one too. Send it out
I
there.
did not get it. Where is it?
I just sent it to you.
So I got
Yeah,
the
same.
ring. +7 on stacks. It's pretty good. The only unique you'll get during the campaign for in tier 2. But there's our fiery portal. Huh. Wonder why we have a fiery portal.
We'll find out.
So yeah, folks. I mean, at this point, we're ahead to what is it? The epilogue is called after.
Yep.
We're headed to the epilogue. We're gonna go meet up with Lorath and Nyarel and the corpse of Donan. It's where I heard a crying baby.
I heard cries of well, but it wasn't a crying baby. Someone else was wailing in agony.
It is done. Lilith is no more.
Is she trapped in the stone?
No. Mephisto is. He helped us reach the Cathedral of Hatred before Lilith did.
Of course. He had a hand in all of this from the beginning, didn't he?
We had to take the risk.
No. I understand. Where is the stone?
Nerel. She didn't come back to you.
No.
She must have already gone ahead to the Desert Chapel.
Go after her. Quickly. I need to bring Donan and seal the gates of hell behind us. I will only slow you down.
You can't do this on your own, my friend. We came together. We leave together too.
Now, we are truly alone. The creators of Sanctuary, Angel and Demon, Father and Mother, are dead. They made us in their image. Their conflict is a part of us. It always will be. But is there any truth to Lilith's vision? This mad idea that we can escape the eternal conflict? Or will we walk the same path of all children who rebel against their parents? So often we simply become them. These are not questions befitting an old man. I don't have much time left. This struggle is not mine anymore. All I can do is help the Wanderer and Nerel avoid the fate of Rathma. And everyone else who tried and failed to overcome our flawed nature. Once we are back with Nerel, we will find a way. We have to.
Fuck Noel do. Epilogue then.
While you can.
Woohoo! What lies ahead?
She's gone. Why didn't she wait for us? Yes. Yes, that must be right. Yorin, Donan. We've lost so many to hatred. We can't lose Nerel too. Come on.
I think it's too late for her.
Oh, well, hello there, friends.
Will this never end?
Yosef,
Remember Yosef?
what do you want?
Mm-hmm.
Step aside. I'm here for the Haradrim.
Can it wait? I'm off to bury a friend.
We'll dig his grave for you.
Well, that's kind. But who will dig yours?
Random end battle.
Yep. It's a Knight's Penitence.
Yeah, I guess the man that helped us in the very beginning, Yosef. We killed Yosef.
Yeah.
Yosef. He saved my life in Nevesk. They were not our enemies.
They were fools. I don't have the time for it. I am going to Scotland. Donan deserves to be buried with his son.
I thought the dead deserve nothing, while the living are in danger.
Wise words. But I have a promise to keep. That's why you must ride north, ahead of me. If the cathedral doesn't have her yet, Neyrelle might head for the vault. Find her. Once you're together, meet me at Donan's estate.
Alright, time to go to the wall again.
Okay, where's the wall? Where's the wall?
There.
I thought there was a waypoint closer than that. Okay, we'll just do that.
It's not as far, do you think?
Yeah, I'll just bam into here.
It's a little bit of a fetch quest to end the game, I guess.
Oh, that's so annoying.
Isn't that right, Bubby Boy? Boy, huh? You a good boy. You my good boy. Talk to my cat.
It's there are a couple things I'm still processing.
Yeah.
They're
Let's roll.
they dropped some very.
I know what I saw. She had horns like a beast, strode right past where you stand.
Where's Cristania telling me?
Oh, it's side quests.
Oh, well,
We're just gonna keep going
rolling.
because, to be honest, we could. You know what? Screw it. I'm not screwing around with these guys.
Alright, let's go. R2 of Ultimates. Oh shit, we gotta make. We fucked up.
Yeah, we got it back. Oh, hold on.
Go back. The map fucks us up here every time. Finishing the fucking side quest for no reason.
Hey, one last little bit. Where you at, man?
Oh, I thought I was down below. Sorry. I got stuck on this hollow tree. No wonder I got lost.
How many ghouls are we gonna get?
That's part of a side quest.
Yeah.
So now we're looking for a Neyrelle, who, for reasons unbeknownst to anybody, decided, fuck it.
Neyrelle is. I have.
Scales. This is what I saw in the reflections. We're close. I can save you from this, Mother. I promise. I can learn how to... You're going to leave me, aren't you? You find a place where I can be taken care of. Not what I expected. But let's not give up hope. I thought you'd know me better by now. I am my mother's daughter. Where there's a lead, there's a way. And I'll follow it to the end.
Alright, now we need to go back to Lorath at Dolan's estate.
Could we? Donuts is
Up top.
Yeah, right there.
you doing, buddy? Hey, big boy. Hey, big boy. You enjoying the head scratches? Scratch. Okay. So up here. Oh, good.
Why do I only hear one set of footsteps?
Actually, you hear about 30.
Yeah.
Oh, that didn't load properly at first.
I spent a lot of time learning this code, so I hope you remember how to read it, Lorath. Because you are the last Horadrim now. My mother would have wanted me to stay with you. She believed the Horadrim had all the answers. I don't know if she'd recognize this person I'm becoming. It's hard for me to think about her right now. But then I remember you and Donan. You weren't all-knowing Horadrim. You were bitter. You were uncertain. But you were always true friends. That's what I hold on to. Because there is so much further to go. Your imperfection gave me hope. And we will need it to face what comes next. To face him and his brothers. I don't know how much time I have, but there has to be a better answer, and I have to find it. Alone. I know you'll want to go with me, but people have already died because I was not careful enough. I can't risk you too. If I've misjudged, the world is going to need you to survive and clean up the mistakes I leave behind. I know you don't want to hear this, but you don't get to quit. Not again. Wish me well, Lorath. Because if everything works out as I am hoping, we will never see each other again.
That's Diablo 4, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Final thoughts, Mike? Oops. Just said
I
thoughts.
think.
Oh, it's struggling, folks.
Yeah, it is. Okay,
It looks
definitely.
like you will have to fast forward. If you want to fast forward, you can keep going as is right now if we want to talk for a bit.
I think in terms of story and narrative wise,
Yeah, let's start there. Let's start story narrative before we bash some of the aspects of the game.
the story narrative wise, it has a lot of high points, but I think there are some major areas where they miss. Areas where I don't think the tone was right, where voice acting direction. You could go back to prior clips and see where I have my critiques on it.
Well, I would say the first thing on that is the main character, any female character in this game has bad voice direction.
Yeah, and the males are also not,
they're not
great
great
either. I think for protagonists, you have to have good voice acting for that connection. And I think that's also one of my problems when I look back on it, trying to connect to the game, playing it on my own, is finding empathy. This is kind of where I get with storytelling. I want to find characters that I can empathize with, that I can escape into their shoes a little bit, into the world that they're at. They kind of vicariously experience what's going on in there. I have a hard time with this. A hard time with that in this game.
I think the reality, when you think about the playable character that we were, she's a brick, ultimately. Yeah. She's not the main character in this game.
No, she's not.
It's Lilith and Nyrel.
Yeah,
you are just a pawn or a soldier, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting direction, admittedly, and I'm sure other games have done it, but I'll give it that. It's an interesting direction. Is it a good direction? That's debatable, and I would lean towards... I'd like to see our character grow more, and it doesn't ever feel like our character grew.
Yeah, and I don't think there's that sense of agency either, because both you and I have played Dragon Age, and we make this comparison a lot of times. When you're the Warden in Origins, there is that aspect of agency, like that's you're on a mission, and there is a purpose to everything that you're doing, every decision that you're making.
And your character grows in that, despite the fact that you don't technically talk in that. You do, but you don't.
But also your party members go with them with the side conversations. You do the character side quests with those individuals, and there's such depth there.
Yeah.
I think in terms of this, like the Nephilim in Diablo 3, yeah, you were a little bit of a soldier a bit, but you got to learn more about what the Nephilim was.
There's lore, there's growth.
There was growth, and there were some other things as well.
Because you're ultimately always, in any game like this, you're ultimately always just a quote-unquote soldier, if you will.
Yeah. I think, going back to the story, I think there's some points that they missed, and even in these most recent episodes just off of this filming session, I think there was some very good plot and like dialogue conversations that they could have easily played off as, and this is just someone who's done creative writing for D&D and have had those moments with playable characters or with player characters between villains and player characters.
Watch the town that comes up. I hope it goes. The Fun Night at States of Ohio.
Oh my word.
What the fuck is this phone call? Sorry, everybody. I got a call from Chili's
from Fun Night
at States of Ohio. What the fuck was that? Sorry, I didn't mean to do that, but I just look at
that is gold.
Turn the fuck off. Anyway,
because I look at it, it's like if you had Mephisto, Lilith, and the player character having a three-way dialogue playing off of each other, how interesting could that have been? But also, I think a missed opportunity here, even though you have your overall hub world where every player's involved, I think Blizzard could have played around with it and I think they should have, and I think it's also a missed opportunity, the aspect of choice. Because Lorath says it, you were the steady hand, you followed your gut. At the end, it's like, when did we follow our gut?
Yeah.
I think if they looked at that like, okay, if this is going to be one of our end lines, we need to look at game design, how this matches up. There should have been an aspect of choice there. And I think they should have played around with it with a narrative, because I think if they did, you could have had very much like the Persona series or Mass Effect or the games that have multiple endings. The choices you make determine the outcome of the game. And I think that could have been another thing that would have made it stronger.
I agree to a point. I think that would have made things a little bit more interesting. I don't know if this game... I don't know the Diablo series like you do. I don't know if the Diablo series has choices like that. Like Mass Effect was built on choice. Dragon Age is built on choice. This game isn't really built on choice, but what you're saying is true with the idea of, well, we followed your gut. Well, we were forced to as a player. Like, there was no choice given to us.
And the prior Diablo games, you don't have that. But if you're going to try to do like something new with the series with an open world concept, have that aspect of choice in there and have it start bleeding out into the world. Because if you're going to do an open world setting like this where it's seamless transition from one region to another, and saying like, well, you got free reign, but your story doesn't allow some deviation in terms of player's choice, that for me that's a minus in my book.
That's fair.
But this is also their first stab of having every region connected together in a mass open world hub. Which I will give them credit for this. They're going to like game environments. It's absolutely incredible what they did. I'm going to give them credit. This is one of their bigger games in the series, and probably one of the best looking games in the series in terms of just the overall environments. They got them right,
and their cutscenes were incredible.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Blizzard never misses out on cutscenes.
So I come with a unique perspective. We talked about it in the very beginning. We really haven't touched on it since that. But I'm new to Diablo. This is my first Diablo. So I never played 1, 2, or 3. So I come in with a unique perspective because I don't really want to call it lucky or fortunate. When I played my main playthrough, I did not have the issues that we had with stuttering. I mean, there was some, don't get me wrong, and when I got the horse, it seemed like then I started having more. But the only time my game crashed was after that big cutscene. That was the only time I had any crash. Other than that, the game relatively was stable. But as far as the story goes, and I should stick with that because that's what we're talking about right now. I bring in unique perspectives to this. I like the story overall. And I think there's an element here, because, I read some forums and some Reddit stuff about people hating that story, hating the end, especially with Nyrell, like, why the fuck did you leave? And there's some validity to that. But when you realize that Mephisto was pulling the strings all along. And I think that end cutscene, the ending cutscene about who the Soul Stone should go after, that's what he wanted. He wanted to be put in the Soul Stone because now he's out of hell. And those Soul Stones, and based off what I've seen in the Red, is they ultimately they influence outside of Soul Stone to some degree.
Because you have, and kind of build on that, and what I thought, because when Nyrell, the Fiery Portal, opened, I went back to Diablo 3 with Diablo's daughter being able to trap other Lords of Hell inside Herodrium Soulstone. But eventually it turns on her and she becomes the Lord of Terror, possesses her body, and she becomes Diablo. So I'm wondering if that's going to go with the same route with Mephisto, because of some of those flashes with the cutscene with Lilith. And Mephisto Diablo, and there's one other primeval that...
Was it Bale?
Yeah, Baal or Belial, one of the two.
Yeah.
They are... When they're unleashed, they wreak havoc.
Yeah, they're the prime evils. They're the ultimate evil. They're the ultimate. And I think the Lilith storyline for me is interesting. Even though you've made comments before, like you wish there was more interaction with the player, and I do agree with that. She was not a bit part, but she was a background player for a lot of this. Elias almost felt like the main antagonist for 2/3 of this story.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have more of those moments, like when the second time you used the sightless eye and you had her talk in the end, but you said there was that missed opportunity of having all three of them, and I think I agree with you. But I think the reality is, or what I believe the reality is, that Lilith, throughout this entire game, she was being honest about her intentions.
Yeah.
I don't think she was planning to destroy Sanctuary. I think Anarius was.
Yeah.
She wanted to, and she has, since her and Anarius initially split, that she's wanted Sanctuary to be free of the internal conflict. That's what she genuinely wanted. And I almost call her an anti-villain in that scope, because which is a rare thing in storytelling.
Kind of like Venom in a way.
In a way,
Yeah.
Venom's more anti-hero-ish, but in their own way, I do agree. She's evil. She does bad shit, but it's for a positive gain. And in her mind, whether she did it in the right way, wrong ways, that's all debatable. It was obviously wrong. But she did not, and if she would have got Mephisto's essence, I don't think that's to become a prime evil or to take control of hell. I think she wanted to destroy the heavens and hell and leave Sanctuary, or basically leaving Sanctuary as protected. She genuinely loved Sanctuary as a mother, because and they presented that in this, I thought, really well.
Yeah, and now that you say that, I think they were playing on the mother's love, and I think it would have been interesting if they had that branching path.
I agree.
If you did side with her and you let her consume Mephisto's essence, I wonder what the cutscene would have played out and how different.
Make it the non-canon ending.
Yeah.
Let's see what happened with that, because I agree, because I genuinely believe in that final cutscene, even though you made the point about it in the bargaining state of grief. I think she was being completely honest and truthful throughout that entire point where she had you trapped. I don't think she would have. That felt truthful. That felt, now somebody said, "Well, she's still a demon. How do you really know that?"
And that's a very valid argument.
And you're absolutely right with that. But the entire game, leading up to that point, and her history that they have shown in this, suggests that's not what she was doing. That, yes, she played Elias as a pawn and Rathma, whatever, but all she ever wanted was for Sanctuary to be free of the eternal conflict. For right or wrong, how she did it.
And what we also discussed too, I think both her and Anarius tired of the eternal conflict, constantly seeing heaven and hell, going at it for ages or eons before the creation of Sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just So for her, I think Sanctuary, its state of survival, meant either finding a way by gaining that power in hell to keep hell separated in a more or less of a spiritual state, not actually physically connected through a physical freaking door.
Yep.
And I think she would have found the same way if she would, let's just say she was able to convince Anarius to do the same thing with the heavens. Mm-hmm. Let them go battle it out somewhere else. Leave Sanctuary alone.
Yeah, but
leave humanity alone.
But unfortunately, Anarius ended up going mad with power or mad with...
They use a specific term with him. Vanity. That pompous arrogance.
Yep. And so I think when I add in that, I think this is ultimately what Mephisto wanted from the get-go. I think maybe more so, you can make the argument he didn't necessarily want Nyrelle. He wanted maybe the Wanderer, as she's called, or he, depending on what they. I would let's go with they to make it easy. Whatever they want that person to have the Soul Stone, but obviously Nyrelle's going to be an easy target because she's a kid. But that's another thing. But I remember Nyrelle was a kid, so I think this is ultimately what he wanted. I think if we would went the route of to make it the easiest path, I should say, because he was eventually going to get his essence. I understand that Diablo, or they eventually come back anyway, and he would have came back and whatever. Yeah. But if you would have trapped Lilith in the Soul Stone, and then Mephisto come back over a longer set of time, or maybe he wants to be first so he can get his brothers back and kind of rule over his brothers. I don't know. There's a lot of moving parts. Maybe we'll see it in a season. Maybe we'll see it in Diablo 5. I don't know. But overall, I enjoyed the story for what it was, despite the warts on it. Is it anything that I'm going to be like, is it Dragon Age? Fuck, no. Is it Mass Effect? No.
Is it something I'm going to revisit?
No.
Probably not.
Same here. I don't have a desire necessarily to revisit this game, even though I enjoyed the combat. And if I do revisit this game, it's going to be just for the combative reasons and the mess around. Because one thing about me, for the people out there, is I'm not somebody that wants to grind 100 level, get to level 100, grind perfect. I'm not that type of person. Like I'm not completionist in that sense, especially with RPGs. I'm like that to some extent on platformers, which is more of my forte. Like I just 100% at Mario Wonder, basically.
I would stay to mess around with the RPG system a little bit more. Maybe start seeing what max damage does in terms of DPS, in terms of class builds. But this, I have no desire to, and it really comes down to gameplay for me. In terms of my personal experience, plus what we saw on the channel, this game has a lot of bugs. Yeah, and a lot of it is technical issues from it being on an online server. And I've talked some of the technicalities from it. The problem with a game being on an online server, and I'm going to get to the technicalities. This is part of some of the stuff I'm learning in terms of the training becoming IT. When a game is on an online server and you're trying to access that server, you're essentially downloading data to the RAM directly via the cable, and that has to constantly be downloaded while that RAM and the processor is trying to process all that data, plus all that data is coming in, plus now it's also writing it back up to the server for your user account. So you've got a lot of moving parts in terms of the stream of data code, and I think the problem with it is, and it's starting to show what it showed in these recent episodes that we've done, is that it does not do well. It does not handle well, especially for like the game environments. How beautiful they look. That takes a lot of line of code. You've got music that's taking code. You've got voice acting that's taking code. You've got triggered in-game cutscenes that are taking up code. You've got a lot of all these things that are taking up code that you're trying to pull off a server. Meanwhile, multiple other players on your dedicated server are also trying to pull from. And it just compounds the issue. And that's where I have the problem with it.
And in the interest of fairness, and we've mentioned this before, we are playing this on the PS4, not the PS5, or Xbox S, X, whatever the fuck it's called. And I do think that matters to an extent, but if you do some research online, you know, stuff, we're not... First of all, if you're gonna put it on the PS4, it better fucking work. I mean, that's the thing. I don't accept this, well, it's the previous generation, do you expect some bugs? No, don't put it on the previous generation. If you can't get it to work right.
But even some of the high-end PCs and some of the reviews I've been looking into that have, you know, the gigabyte download and the gigabyte uploads, they're still having some of the issues.
And I was leading to that because there is other issues. It's not just a PS4 problem. So if you think that, you're not wrong. We probably had more problems than normal, but it's not just that. It's a game issue, and it's
a network issue.
And you know, if this was built by an independent developer over the last 10 years that doesn't have the resources of Blizzard and what was Blizzard, EA?
Activision bought out Blizzard,
so and didn't have those resources. You know, maybe you give more forgiveness to that. But this is a $70 fucking game, a AAA title, a game that was incredibly hyped because it's been almost a decade since the last one.
Yeah, almost a decade.
You know, and Diablo, despite me never really getting into it, is an incredibly popular series. I acknowledge that.
Yeah, and outside of the initial launch issues of Diablo 3, Diablo 3 actually did pretty well.
Yeah. And I do agree with you. If this wasn't online only, I don't think we have
as many.
80% of the issues are gone.
Yeah.
By the way, I just want to point out I really like these art scenes in the back. I think it's really incredible.
Oh my gosh! So like gameplay wise, the networking that having to be connected to a network, that's an issue. Yeah. I have, because for me, I think from a maintenance standpoint, IT, when this company, releases the next Overwatch, or releases their next major multi-online game, dedicated servers that have been dedicated to Diablo 4 are going to go to backup servers to keep it up and running, but they're not going to get the primary care and maintenance as your next big main budget game. So the game code's going to eventually break down.
Yep.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to force localized downloads to where the game code is no longer on server, now it's taking up hard drive space the way it should have been done?
Yep.
There are some things that I think are major missteps, but I wasn't in the conversations to say who said yes to this, that we can do this,
right,
and make it operate functionally. But in terms of gameplay, going to gameplay, down to nitty gritty, RPG mechanics, skill trees are probably the best in the series. These are the best skill trees in the series.
Now, I would say at one point in this playthrough, you were didn't really like them at first.
Didn't really like them.
Once you got used to them.
Yeah. These are the best in the series.
Yep.
The only thing that's for new entries into the series, or RPGs in general, is a lot of the flavor text in there.
Yeah, it's not beginner friendly. I struggled to be. I'm the example of that. I struggled with it early on.
You struggled with it in this, and also your private playthrough, and you sent me photos of, hey Mike, I need you to look at this because I'm not understanding this.
Yeah.
And I helped you with your barbarian build a little bit.
Yeah.
Sorcerer build, trust me, I respect about 12 times before I got it to its broken state.
Now, you also, and I never got into level 50 with the Paragon, but you said the Paragon tree was pretty shit.
Paragon, honestly, Diablo 3 had it in the bag with Paragon. Because with Paragon and Diablo 3, you have 4 different categories. And each time you leveled up, you got a point in a different category. Where this was just like a massive grid, and there was like 50 upgrades. Like 50 or 60 upgrades. It's like, that is not enough. Like, Diablo 3, I can go Paragon 200 and still be unlocking things. And that's... So it adds that longevity of the gameplay on top of the Nephilim Rifts, which are just these quick, like 15-minute dungeons. Like, if all you have is to play is 15 minutes, you can pop on, sprint through a dungeon, kill all the enemies that you need to kill, get out, maybe get some decent, unique gear to help continue your build, but there was an incentive of continuing playing the game after the main story was done. Or you can go hit the main story again at a higher level difficulty and still do Paragon leveling up and possibly get unique equipment through that. That's where I think Diablo 3 has a little bit more in the bag for me.
Agreed.
Because this, with how fat, even in this playthrough, even if we did all the side quests about halfway mid-game, we would already be up Paragon.
Yep.
Diablo 3, even on a normal difficulty, you don't hit Paragon until your second playthrough. That is how slow that level progression. Granted, the faster level progression here keeps it fresh for new players, so I will give it that.
Yeah, there's that give and take aspect.
Yeah.
Okay.
But gameplay wise, skill trees, the 3 classes I trialed, what I saw of your barbarian, also what I saw of your rogue, the classes all play uniquely different. They all have a unique set of skill trees, so it doesn't feel like one's a copy and paste of the other. And each skill tree is complex, so it adds some complexity in terms of what build you make.
Yep.
But that also comes with a major disadvantage too. That new players, it's going to be intimidating looking at it.
Yeah, and that's, I think, the reality sometimes is they're probably making this game more for people who have already played it necessarily,
or no RPG systems.
Or no RPG systems. I mean, I know RPG systems to an extent. I played in-depth RPGs, not the craziest one, but like we talked about. But I will say, I'm with you. I thought the combat was cool. Just by it being isometric view, that's always kind of turned me off Diablo a bit, the way the camera is.
Yeah.
But it worked. It really works for the series, obviously. I like the skill trees. I will defend the Barbarian now after talking mass amounts of shit of it beginning. Now, maybe the problem is there's only one or two good builds, and you might have 6 or 7 in the other ones, and that's a fair. But if you can't build your Barbarian up to the wreck shop, that's a you problem, because there is a build for it.
Yeah,
I made the build for it. It's you have to believe he's your friend.
Yep.
You believe he's your friend, and Whirlwind's awesome, and death. You have to have Deathblow. You have to have Deathblow.
Things like the Necromancer and the Sorcerer. Anything that does passive damage is your friend.
Yeah.
So crackling orbs around the Sorcerer, Necromancer, having all your minions out.
And that's probably true of every build, most likely.
Yeah.
Passive or dot damage is probably your best friend, and because I noticed that with Rogue too, we ended up going vulnerable and cold, and that's where we started just destroying the game, basically.
Yeah.
And the thing with Rogue is I see him in the skill tree. You can make a great Rogue that's an up-close battler.
Yeah, you can.
It's still got the squishy factor, which might be a problem. Or if you wanted to go the trap side, which I wouldn't do, I don't think it's going to be as good, but there is a build for the traps.
I think that there could have been a hybrid between the Archer and the traps.
Yeah.
With a mix of other players playing crowd control.
Yeah. And I started that a little bit because I went to the Caltrops, which I think could be useful, especially because when you put cold, because they have a natural cold to them, eventually in that century, they were very useful. I don't know how. You notice early on with bosses, we never really got them to get in their stun mode.
Yeah, we started hitting them hard.
We started doing that a lot more with the Caltrops.
Yeah.
Toward the end game when I was using them more. It's useful. Is it the best building? No. Is it useful? Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
So let's
talk sound design, and this is something I'm more attuned to. Voice acting is on par what I would think for a AAA budget game. They have some voice acting bits with certain characters, certain situations that they do really well with. Then there are others that I don't think they do well with. It's on par for what I would expect for a AAA licensed game. Sound design, splashes, spell effects, environmental, animals. It's, again, on par.
It's fantastic.
I
liked it. I thought it did well. Maybe a little overpowering with some of the ability sounds.
Yeah.
I'll say that as my one complaint. Some of the ability sounds can be almost overpowering. But
I would say on par just because it doesn't break the mold. It doesn't. It doesn't stand out unique. Yeah. Well, I think what really stands out to it, and it very uniquely to it, is the soundtrack playing in the background. It has a different soundtrack from the rest of the games.
Talk about the soundtrack going on right now. The music right now.
That plus every other overworld, plus every major boss battle, and every battle that we were in, the soundtrack was good.
Yeah.
And whoever they got as a composer nailed what they were trying to go for.
It was very, to me, it felt atmospheric.
And that's what it needed to be. It didn't need to be like this. I used Final Fantasy 15 in this, where you're fighting a giant, like, sea serpent, and you've got a massive vocal choir and loud instruments in the background. No, this is...
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I like some of that, too. But
this is... It was good for what they were doing.
Yes.
For the mix with the slow pace. Some of the I think they did the subtlety, left it subtle because I think they wanted you to pay attention.
Yeah. By the way, these credits are fucking extraordinarily long.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. I think the sound design's pretty good. I'm not as attuned to it as you. I'm somebody that you give me a solid soundtrack, I won't give a shit. Obviously, I think I prefer almost like a Final Fan, like a good soundtrack. I'm always a fan of heavier and faster stuff.
Yeah.
Slower, atmospheric stuff. So that's a preference. So I want to make that very, very clear. That is just a preference. I'm a Mega Man X fan. I love the X soundtracks. Most of the X soundtracks, with the exception of Mega Man 3 and 5 have, I think, weaker of the. They're not bad, but they're not as good. Now that's a different story for a different day. But I do agree. I think it was fine. It was fine. It's not anything I'm going to sit there and remember necessarily, but.
And sound balancing. I don't think there was any time I've mentioned, or I could be wrong on this, that I mentioned a complaint regarding something being overpowering to the point where I could audibly pick it up.
Yep.
I've had issues with other games that are AAA titles where I had to mute my TV because I had the music, I had what was going on in front of me, plus combat, all blaring together, and it sounded like nails on a chalkboard. Like, it hurt my ears to listen to, even at low volumes. Whereas this, I don't think I had that much with it.
Right.
If I did, it was just small things, just small enough where I could ignore it.
Yeah. All right.
In terms of graphical design, character models could use some work.
Yeah, not the best character models.
But in terms of the Blizzard cutscenes, what you saw for Blizzard's cutscenes, that's ever since Diablo 3 and StarCraft 2, that is what Blizzard's known for.
Yeah.
They are some of the best cutscenes around in gaming.
They do have some good cuts.
Honestly, I would not mind them making an entire horror
movie
or HBO series just based in Diablo with those cutscenes alone, because I would frickin' watch it.
That's fair.
The player character models and NPC models, they could use some work, especially this being more high end.
Yeah.
Even on some of the bigger, beefier engines, they're still having issues. But honestly, the rest of the game design, that pretty much flawless.
Yep. So, as we get closer to the end here, I think, of the credits. Yeah. I don't know. You could hit the let's get to some final thoughts, and then let's talk about what our future holds. What we're going to do next. But for now, if someone came to you and said, "Hey, Mike, should I play Diablo 4?" What's your thoughts?
I would say probably one playthrough. If you're looking for a completionist, 100% completing it, be prepared to be sorely disappointed. And if they're a previous Diablo player who maybe enjoyed 1 and 3 more than 2, or liked all 3 of them, but don't know how to feel about this one, I would say throw out your expectations of what you think a Diablo game is and should be, especially if you played all those, because you're going to have some. Because this is going to throw some things out the window. I would say it's good for one playthrough. It's good for the exploration. If you find yourself where you feel, and this is the other caveat I would say, if you find yourself feeling like it's more of a chore than an enjoyment, stop playing the game. move on to something else, because that is where I ended up finding it on my private playthrough, and like I play games to escape, interact with the story.
Absolutely.
If it starts becoming like a chore, very much like reading a dry book that I'm not interested in, I've only got one life to live. I am not wasting my time with it.
No.
So overall, it is a good game. Has a lot. I think there's a lot of that could have gone better with it, but this is a final product.
Yep. I will agree with you. I think if you want to play this game, I would recommend waiting until it comes down in price a bit.
Yeah.
Especially because I agree with you. I think it's a one playthrough game. I mean, obviously, I did 2, and I enjoyed every second of it. But but one was with. But if you have other people, maybe you can get away with a second. But
yeah,
I would say wait till it's under $50.
Or even wait to catch it on a sale on the PlayStation Store.
Yeah. It's fine. It's a good game. I don't want to bash it. I don't regret paying $70 for it, but it's what it is. As we finish the credits here, so let's end this. We'll end this here. You do get some extra little shit here. It talks about shit that's afterward. For us, so we finished this. It is November 10th when we finish this game. This part's probably not coming out till mid-December.
Most likely.
So our plan will be so in the coming days, about 2 weeks from now ish, the remake for Super Mario RPG comes
That's
out.
actually next week.
It's next week.
Yeah, I think so.
So that will be our next endeavor, our main game, I would imagine.
Yeah, it will
assuming
be.
we can get some recording time in for it. Obviously, if you're a big fan of the South Park stuff, let us know. I could always try getting more parts so we can switch something to that.
Yeah.
Right now, that's kind of our, if we don't have time to record game and we need some parts up to keep our 3-day-a-week quota up. So that's why South Park's kind of hit and miss right now, even though I think it's one of our better ones doing, actually, weirdly enough. But Super Mario RPG is coming up. I can't wait for that. I never beat that game personally. I got to the final boss, could not beat the final boss.
That is launching next Friday.
That is launching next Friday. I can't wait for that game to come out. I can't wait to play that game.
Oh my gosh!
Obviously, it won't be a co-op playthrough because it's only a one-player game. But
I think you might take the lead on the controls with that one since I've gotten South Park.
That will work. And I'm a Mario guy anyway, but it's different RPG. I actually prefer Paper Mario and Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, especially over RPG. Actually, I prefer RPG over Paper Mario 64, but I prefer Thousand Year Door over all of them. But that is our plan. Mike, any final thoughts before we end the part and tell the world good night?
We just got our logo. We got our logo. We're still working on some tweaks with it. The social media will be up. If you do have recommendation for games or even some smaller sub-series that you would like to see us do, let us know. We're looking at stuff that we could possibly record in like an hour or two and just kind of blaze through. Let us know. We have some ideas. We've talked about Mega Man X. Possibly
Mega Man Classic.
Yeah, Mega Man Classic series as well that we could breeze through. Star Fox 64, I know I can definitely get all 3 routes done within about 2 hours.
Yep.
Yeah, feel free to let us know in the comments because we're open to suggestions. If there's a game that you would recommend for that, feel free. We might try to get some verses where it's head-to-head player competition. See who's a better gamer.
I'm never good at those, folks. I'm never good at those. But I will give them
it might lead to both of us cursing each other out.
You're not wrong. But that will do it, folks. Thank you for if you watch all 50 plus of these parts, you're fucking awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Whether it's when it came out or 2-3 years from now, maybe we make it big and people go back to this and be like, holy shit, their audio sucked.
Yeah. they're gonna hit that weird, awkward episode where I'm just making nothing but dick jokes.
Yeah. It's like half of them. What are you talking about? But thank you. We're bloating this as far. It's over an hour long.
Yeah.
If you've made it through this hour, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Until that's Mikey Vike. I'm Zunker.
We're signing off Diablo 4.
Until next time, everybody. Until RPG!
See ya!